Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to La Cantina. This will be our new location for Beyond the NFT. It's so good to see you all. Oh my God, you all look so beautiful on this screen. So, yeah, big welcome and big thank you to Canessa for setting this up for us. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here at La Cantina, especially with little special build here that she's put on together for us. Everyone, I want to remind you to claim your OP badge. The OP badge is under the screen right over here. Make sure to claim that, and you will get your very first Beyond the NFT OP badge with Jenifer Pepen as our featured artist on it. And yeah, so very special to see you all. Oh my God, is that it's Severus in the building? Damn, Severus, how are you, my friend? Welcome to your first Beyond the NFT. So before we get started, I want to tell you all about Bucktown MMA. Bucktown is our sponsor for Beyond the NFT. They've been our sponsor for the last couple years now, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to have them sponsor us every month for Beyond the NFT. So head on over to bucktown.org/support, and there you could read a little more about the program. Bucktown is a mixed martial arts program that is focused on empowering young combat athletes all around the world through the power of martial arts. So check them out. If you jump in there, you could also purchase some Bucktown merchandise as well as NFTs. All proceedings go back to the program. Thank you, everyone. So, as usual, I want to say a big hello to all of you. I see DJ Vape down there. What up, Meta Wolf? What up, Meta Tiger? Fifi in the house. Hello, Stella Mew. I've been calling you Stella Mew. I love it. What up, Bernie Roots? Hello. We have the Mofaya King in the building. Stony Eye is in the house. Hello, Make a NFT, my good friend. We have It's Severus in the house, just chilling in a CBD couch. We have the power couple, a kid called Doc, and GM in the building. Welcome. The amigos, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have the lovely Chloe in the house. She's ready with her popcorn, ready for the show. We got Bitcoin Mobile in the building with Scat Lion Rock all the way over to here at the top. And oh, I just saw Felons pop in. What up, Felons? My good friend. We have a Meta Beast in the building, just chilling. We have the Smoothiest in the house. Hello, my friend. And the lovely J Name is in the building as well. Welcome, Fred Elf. I see you over there with right next to Rustan and Old Guy rocking his Mew bubble. Very classy, I must say. We have the Fitty in the building as well. So I think that may be all. Oh, wait, I missed someone. What's up, Chapado Games? Welcome. Thank you so much. I believe it's your first time here. What up, 85? Yo, how are you floating like that, 85? That's kind of crazy to me. I'm gonna have to ask you some questions. Hello, Cube Elf. Welcome. And hello, Meta Tiger. I just seen you popping in. If there's anyone that I missed, just know that I love you all, and I really appreciate you showing up tonight. Oh, hi, Fifi. Welcome, Fifi. And once again, claim that OP badge. So I'm going to go backstage, get our guest, and then we can get started with tonight's episode of Beyond the NFT. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I just seen a Brandon pop in. Welcome, Brandon. Thank you. Welcome everyone to Beyond the NFT. I am your host, Sinful, and tonight we're thrilled to welcome Jenifer Pepen, artist, poet, gallerist, creative director, speaker, historian, and president of One Love Art DAO. From from curating Visible Violets on Gamma.io to co-hosting Collector Corner spaces, Jenifer is redefining curation in Web3. Get ready for insights on AI art, DAOs, and constructive vibes. Let's go beyond the NFT. Welcome, Jenifer. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is a real honor to have you here tonight with us. Like, you have no idea how many friends throughout the years of hosting Beyond the NFT have mentioned One Love, as well as like even mentioned you personally as like one of those prominent figures that is always out there inspiring others and pushing your community and those around you forward into like into a new age that we're living in here in Web3. Yes, so let's so I usually like to start the show by passing the mic over to our guest and allowing you the opportunity to say hello, introduce yourself in case my introduction wasn't so good, this would be the time to kind of be like, okay, Sinful, here this is where you messed up. The floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you. I think you really did sort of cover a lot. I am one of the co-founders of One Love and its current president. Before that, before One Love came into the picture, which One Love is about to hit 3 years in July, I was an avid collector in the space, and that's actually how Shay and I connected. I was also a co host, and still am, a co host in a space with Giancarlo, which is an artist spotlight space where we interview artists and get to know them like on a deeper level. And then also a couple of other spaces. And so now I do host our community space, which normally happens every Sunday. And we also have a gallery, which you did mention in the intro. It's located inside of the Gates Hotel in South Beach, Miami. And so we've been able to exhibit at this point hundreds of artists through that gallery and do really fun group drops. And right now we have one that's very important, near and dear to my heart. It's a passion project of mine called Visible Violets that honors women in the Web3 space. It's currently on the home page. If you guys are listening to this, I highly recommend going because the art in there is phenomenal. Like you mentioned when we were off camera, one of our mutual friends has her art there, but there's 20 women who participated, and it's a very fun and accessible blind mint. You mint and you're going to get one of those 20 women. And yeah, it's an initiative that's meant to educate them on how to inscribe on Bitcoin because that is like the gold standard for how to keep things on chain. But then also the goal is to get them paid in BTC uh, because BTC is like the most stable of the cryptocurrencies according to most crypto people. And yeah, there is still a pay equity issue in our space, which is kind of wild because it's 2026 and you would think, Web3, we're so modernized, those aren't issues anymore, but they still are. And I really strongly believe in women having not only a voice and a platform to be seen, but to also be paid, for the work that they produce because their work is valuable and needed. So, yeah, that's what Visible Violets is. And we do all kinds of initiatives like billboards and webinars where we educate members on all kinds of things. Like we just did a 3-day course on how to inscribe on Bitcoin. So we're always just looking for ways to add value to the community, to our members, but also to like the overall, Web3 art movement, digital art movement. So that's a bit of that sort of like general overview of what I've been up to lately.
Yes, and your X feed has been just you've just been on a roll. I feel like from like would it be like late February to now, it's like you've just been pushing Visible Violets very heavy in spotlighting the individual artists that are featured in the project, as well as their art and who they are as like humans, and it's been really great to see. I have the Gamma.io uh, website pulled up with the Visible Violets cohorts 2 or volume 2. Seeing some very, very beautiful pieces. And I am sharing here on Discord so you could see like what I'm currently looking at in real time. That way we don't get mixed up.
Yep, I see it. Yeah.
and
It
and
looks
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the artworks look so great together.
Yes, most definitely. Like all just definitely there is a like it's all cohesive with each other. Like all these artists that put are featured definitely it's like they understood the task and they went full steam ahead here. And one I have to say that kind of really stood out to me, and this could be because I may be like a very big fan of like a like AR slash art, but it's the let's see if it has a name
Uh,
specifically. Oh, well, it's
yes,
Visible
that
Violets.
one
Go.
echolescence. So I should tell you that because of the way that the blind mint is, like you're not going to be able to get the information just right away. If you scroll further down, there may be a piece, no, like back to the homepage.
Oh,
Um, there may be a piece of hers, and they are populating the information as the mint is going on. Um, you could see if that one, let's see,
let's
if you
see that.
click that one, you might be able to,
Okay, I'll try the second one here.
yeah, maybe. If not, I could give you the information. So that one has AR, which is like so fun. And there it is. Yeah. Eka is known for what she refers to as crypto baroque. So it's like just so much beautiful intricacy in her art. And so, yeah, with the blind mint, it's happening in stages where you're going to get like information on who the artist is, what the name of the piece is, but separate to it. All of the artworks, they are their own one of ones. So those one of ones definitely do have that information. And actually, I could share with you um, the info because I have it here. So hers is called Violet Creatures. Violet Creatures is a celebration of psyche multiplicity. And she goes on to say, the many beings a person carries within her across time, memory, and lineage. We are ecosystems. We are storytellers. We are evolution in motion. If you go to ordinals, you could actually like look up the individual inscription, and Eka has been around for quite some time. She is a powerhouse. I'm going to share this link with you so you can maybe queue it up inside of our screen here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, so may perhaps tonight I won't be able to share too much here on our Discord. Looks like my PC is struggling. I'm
Okay.
seeing some frame drops, unfortunately. Oh,
No worries. It's there in that chat. that we're on right now, and you could look at the original inscription, and the original inscription points to her parent, which is like kind of this like concept that if you've never heard, you're probably like, what are you talking about, parent children? But in Bitcoin, the parent inscription is the thing that everything will point to. And if you look, when you click on that inscription for her one of one version of that piece that you had pulled up, you'll
Hmm.
see not only that piece, but all of her other artworks. And she is like a prolific artist, well known in the BTC ordinal art community. So I love that that's where your eye gravitated. You have really good taste. Yeah, she's phenomenal, and we're super grateful to her for participating in this initiative in Art Drop.
Oh my God, what a powerhouse. And it just like leaves more questions for me like are they all AR or like or have an AR application to it? I might need to meet this individual one day.
And she's something else. No, not all of them. Hers, I know for a fact is. So yeah. But
Hmm.
the rest of them are either static or there's GIFs. So there are three animated GIF pieces in the drop, and then the rest of them are static pieces.
I see, I see. What a talent. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. I need to follow her right now. Right now. There we okay, I follow has been made. Okay. And all right. So another one that kind of like popped out to me was oh, let me see if I can go back here. Well, in between while I find the other one that I really enjoyed, what is Gamma.io and what made you go with this platform or hmm,
Yeah,
yeah,
a
this
great question.
platform to mint? Go ahead.
Yeah, so Gamma is, in my opinion, the premier art platform for BTC ordinals. There are other marketplaces, but they're more so like focused on collectibles, PFPs, things of this nature. And you're certainly going to find some of that on Gamma. But with Gamma, you're also going to find like physical art, like paintings, like scanned, digitized, and put on chain, poetry, gifts, like the gamut of different art that's being made, which I consider this contemporary fine digital art. So Gamma is great about that. And I learned about Gamma actually a couple of years ago. Um, there was an initiative to get more Latin artists, like artists from Latam, to learn about inscribing on Bitcoin. And I was one of those 10. So I was invited to inscribe, which I did. And that was a pretty interesting experience because I had to learn, about one of ones and additions and how things work over there. Prior to that, I had done, Ethereum and Tezos, but I didn't really know a lot about BTC. So that was my first, like, sort of like initiation. And it was through Gamma. They were very, very helpful. And then last year, a good friend of mine who's a phenomenal artist who I recommend you also follow her. Her name is Superama. She is an Emmy Award winning illustrator. She's a muralist. She's an AR and VR wizard. Like the woman does it all. Like literally, she's had her art on packages of like Dannon yogurt. She's just so cool. And she said, it'd be great if we did something that celebrated women. Um, and she mentioned to me that there had been like larger communities and a greater like presence in the Web3 space earlier on, like with drops and with spaces and things like that were like really female centric, and that they had sort of become more quiet, and she wanted to like bring it back. So we sat down and we were thinking like, well, if we do this, where would we want this minted? Like, is it going to be Ethereum? Is it going to be Tezos? And we had worked together. She was one of those Latin artists back in the day when we did that Latam drop on Gamma. And I said, well, what about Bitcoin? Because it just makes a lot of sense, right? To preserve their legacy. One of the things that when I, began like deep diving and researching, like pay equity and different things that come up with women artists in general, but specifically in the space, is that some people get remembered and some people don't. And the cool thing about BTC is you never have to worry that like a subdomain goes out or, the IPFS isn't working and the token actually doesn't have the art anymore. Like those are non-issues when it comes to inscribing directly onto the chain. And so we knew right away, like if we're talking about legacy, preserving their voices, avoiding possible erasure when people are looking back, like we really should be doing this on BTC. So we reached out to Gamma. We presented them with the whole vision. Amaranta and I, Superama, Amaranta's her real name, sat down and we're like, okay, the name, what are we going to call this? And we loved the idea of violet because purple is actually the color that is used for International Women's Day. And that has ties and roots all the way back to like the early 1900s when women in the United States were trying to get their voting rights, the suffrage movement. Purple was one of the colors. But then we went deeper and discovered that, like, to the eye, violet is one of the hardest perceivable colors, which is such a beautiful metaphor because if we're trying to preserve the voices of things that are often not seen, that are quietly there, and underappreciated and undervalued, then this fit with that whole theme just perfectly. And so then we were like visible violets because we're making it visible. We are bringing these women to the forefront and honoring them and preserving their legacy. And so last year we did the same thing. We helped 20 artists inscribe. 19 of them were brand new to BTC. And they inscribed their parent and their one of one. And then what happens with Gamma for us for this particular drop last year and this year is they take the file, the original one of one that'll always be with that woman's wallet and her parent inscription, and they make copies of it. So it's like editions of that artwork. In ordinal world, they call it prints. And it's cool because if you think about it, it's almost like the one of one that the ladies own. That is their like painting. And then the prints are the thing that get put into the blind mint. And so they created this whole fun randomizer on the website and they put 20 of each of the 20 artworks, which is why the supply is 400 because it's 20 times 20. And so those are all prints of our original artworks. And for $20, 20 artists, 20 editions, for $20, you hit the mint button and you can collect yourself one of these artworks and celebrate basically in community these amazing artists and help preserve their work. And so that was the vision, and Gamma is fantastic. Last year, they gave us homepage placement the entire month of March for Women's Month. And it took me around 22 days of going on spaces, of making individual artist spotlight posts, of, really promoting the drop as best as I could. And we minted out. And so each artist walked away with around $300 to $400 worth of Bitcoin, which is like so empowering, because we forget, especially like I think our generation, how close certain things actually were. Like we don't see it that way. But my mom was alive when you still needed your dad or your husband to go to the bank with you so that you could open up a bank account. And now these women are walking away with digital gold, right? BTC, and it goes directly into their wallets upon the mint being fully sold out. So last year it sold out, and this year we are at around 32%. So if you're listening and you think that this is up your alley and you want to collect some great art, definitely visit gamma.io. It's right on the homepage, and get yourself one of these artworks so that we can, send a message in the space that um, I'm very much the type of person that, like, if there's something wrong and we know there's something that's not fair, instead of like complaining about it, like, which is fine and valid, like, I get why people, make those posts um, or will say what they feel inclined to say. Like, I'm like, okay, so what's the solution to this problem? Like, what are we going to do about it? And this is a really great way of doing something about it and moving the needle. So that is what Visible Violets is. We've had tremendous support from Nick and Brett. If they're happen to be listening tonight, thank you very much. And yeah, that's what that is. And we were also able to utilize our gallery in Miami and showcase all of the artworks for the ladies, and give them that, like, just beautiful proof of exhibition, and made them feel really special. So that's what Gamma's been able to do with One Love. And that's really the origin story of Visible Violets. This is year 2. And to be honest with you, like, we would do this literally every single year. As long as we have a platform that's supportive and sees the vision, we'll just continue doing this. And it hopefully will become like something people know about and look forward to every single year, that One Love does to celebrate women during Women's Month.
And how long into volume 2 are you, like month wise, like time wise?
Well, the launch was on International Women's Day, which was March 8th.
Okay.
And today is what,
The
the
16th.
16th. So we're about 8 days in, and we've sold about 100. And you have the screen probably more readily in front of you,
Yep.
but 125, I believe, have been collected so far. Oh,
Hmm.
and I should mention that we have a really fun incentive program for collectors. So there's a private Telegram group. If you even collect one, you can be included into the group. And the purpose of the group is you could connect with the women, like the actual violets, from both year 1 and year 2. And we have, like I said, it's just some phenomenal, talented people in there. But you could also connect with collectors. And the reason is that you will get more art and you will get more fun prizes the more you mint. So if you collect 5 unique pieces, you'll get an airdropped artwork, a different artwork that's not part of the mint. If you collect 10 individual pieces, you get 2 new artworks dropped into your wallet. If you collect 15, you get 3. And if you collect 20 unique artworks from the randomized mint, then you're going to be entitled to a quality archival grade print, museum grade print, which we'll mail to you. And you could choose whichever artwork, really resonates with you, and then we'll have that ordered for you and sent. So it's fun. It's meant to, get you wanting to collect and keep minting. And if you have duplicates and triplicates, that Telegram group is great because you can just swap art directly. Like, you don't have to wait for things to get into secondary. And so right now, like, literally, there's a trade happening in the Telegram group. Like, oh, give me an Eka for a Yanisa, and so on and so forth. So it's been a really lovely, very community fun type of experience for everybody.
How many members has the Telegram group reached so far?
Hold on one sec, I'll tell you right now.
And yeah, I have it on screen right now. So 8 days in, 32% mints have claimed, and like you mentioned, you got the number correct. 125 out of 400 pieces, for 22 $22.40 in Bitcoin. And so if anyone would like to support, I'm going to drop the link in on Decentraland. And welcome, Juxton. I just seen that you popped in. Hello. Hello, hello, everyone that has popped in since the last time we said hello. We love you, and I hope you're enjoying the conversation. If you have any questions for Jenifer, feel free to ask them within the Beyond the NFT community here on Decentraland. I'll even type ask questions here. I said ask quests here. Oh,
While we're on the topic of any questions, when we did those inscribing classes last year, it was really for the women to learn how to inscribe. This year, we decided to open it up to the entire community. So we did three back-to-back classes. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday leading into the drop. And we recorded it. It was all on Zoom. So I have it in a Google Drive. So if there's anybody who's listening who's like, ooh, I'd like to learn how to inscribe my art on Bitcoin, just either, let you know or let me know, and I could send you the drive link at no cost, so that you can get that education. I even created like a little helpful cheat sheet that lives in the drive that walks you through like all kinds of questions that you may have. Oh, and you asked me how many people, it's 44 are inside of the Telegram group.
nice, nice. It's always fun to have those community members like whether the community transcends from like either a Discord into a Telegram or from Decentraland into a Discord. Like it's always special to have, your group of people like around in various platforms to be able to communicate with them. um and as you mentioned, the Telegram is currently housing some trades that puts such a big smile on my face. And if I do pick up a few of these ordinals, I'm going to have to join in to that Telegram as well.
Absolutely, it's such a vibe. You'll love it in there.
uh, So, within Visible Violets, who are some artists that you would say inspire you because of their story and who they are?
Honestly, all of them. All of them. We have a 16-year-old this year. So her name is Victoria, and this is the first time we've had somebody this young in the drop. Last year, I think the youngest was like around 19 or 20, but this year, um, she submitted this beautiful artwork. I actually know her mom. Back in the day, I was an early collector of her mother's art on I want to say it was Known Origin, back when Known Origin was still around. And I've literally watched Victoria sort of like grow up, in the space. She's still super young. She still has such a bright future ahead of her. But this year, the curators selected her artwork. And so that's another thing that I should point out. This year, we had four women curators. And that was very intentional because last year Amaranta and I were the ones who were sort of like at the helm of the project and decided which art and all of that. And this year I made it a very intentional choice of not being the curator. I really wanted to make it so that it was very female led on every aspect and that it was as fair as possible. So we had four different styles, different taste women come and do us the favor of being the curators. And so they selected Victoria. I was so happy to see that. And yeah, her story is very inspiring. Her mom and her have been through a lot. They're from Venezuela. And if you know what's been going on in Venezuela for years, it's been very, very difficult. And it's been
Correct.
even more so difficult recently with, Nicolas Maduro being removed from office and a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of economic instability in Venezuela. And
Yep.
so the crypto art space is literally like a lifeline for Victoria and for her mother, Dianella. And it's in the art. Like when you look at her art piece, and I'll pull the description up, it's just the type of pure, authentic art that can only come out of somebody who is living a very unique and painful, but at the same time inspires you to reach in and pull something beautiful out of that darkness. And so this is the description for Victoria's art. I'm going to read it for you. Okay. They see the silk and the flowers, but they don't see the war. She is the beauty that heals the cracks, the quiet storm that turns every scar into a petal. Being delicate isn't her weakness, it's her armor. In a broken world, her grace is the loudest form of courage. She doesn't just survive, she blooms. And so, yeah, that's just one. Then we have four other women who my heart has been just completely with them this whole entire process. And they're all Iranian. So the four women are Athena, Senmerv, Homavasi, and Miriam. And the last I was able to hear from them was February 28th. And then I just lost all communication with them, unfortunately, because of the war that's happening. And they're all just brilliant. And you can see it in the art, but you can see it in the descriptions of their artworks as well. And one of them in particular, right before, comms basically went dead, she sent me a DM and she was like, I really want to be able to finish the inscription process. But in case I don't do it in time, because there was a deadline where we had to like have everything into Gamma for them to do the blindment, she said, "Do it, just do it, like make it happen. I have full faith in you." And so for them, I actually inscribed on their behalf. And so you'll see on chain, the parent has their name, and then in the metadata, it says like where they're from, just some helpful like context about the artist, and then their art is minted underneath as a child of their parent inscription, and then it has the full description of the artwork. So, yeah, I mean, if there are people who were concerned about being left behind in sort of like the canon of art history, these are some of those people for sure. Because of war, because of circumstances. And so to know that we were able to preserve, these four Iranian women's names and legacy is just like super, super important, and really made this project even more real. Like I always felt passionate about it, but like not being able to communicate with your friends for weeks, um, and not knowing if you're going to communicate with them ever again, and knowing that you were able to somehow play a role in preserving their art forever is like, it just really made that moment and this project even the more important for me and for the DAO, and for collectors. And I guess my hope is, like they come back online and they find out that we minted out, and they go to their wallets and they're able to see, that money just sort of sitting there and waiting for them, which I'm sure they could use,
Mhm.
given everything that's happening.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. And could you please share the inscriptions with me here in our
Yeah,
chat here on, and wow, that
what I'm gonna do, actually, I should have probably thought of this. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I have a very like comprehensive sheet, like a
oh,
Google sheet that has everything.
oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, give me one moment. Let me just put that into the chat.
Of course.
Ooh, look at these cookies that somebody made. They look amazing. And Meta, she made like red velvet with like white chip. Oh my God, I'm like dying. Those are unreal. Yeah, I just shared it with you. So you
Alrighty,
could,
let's take a
and
look here.
so, um, oops, is it there? I
Uh,
thought I did.
I don't
Let me,
s- I don't see it in our interview chat just yet.
maybe it's not letting me because it's
Or
like a Google Doc. Huh.
or if you could, if anything, DM it to me on
Yeah, let me do
Discord.
that.
Hmm.
I'm actually still getting used to Discord, if you can believe it.
I
You
mean,
know,
there's just
I've
so
had
much.
a server for like ever, but it's a little bit different. Okay, there we go. Oops, I put it in your general chat. My bad.
Okay. No, well, that's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you go in there, you'll see a column that's just the inscription IDs. And so if you go to ordinals.com and you just copy and paste that long ID, it'll bring you to the artwork, the one of one artwork. And then you'll see that it says something called parent, and then that's the parent. You can click into that as well and read that too. So, yeah.
Knows.com. Oh,
Or is it
no.
ordinals.com?
I went to a completely wrong place. It took me to Adam.com. Well,
Oh,
maybe
okay. Yeah, it is ordinals.com. Yep.
Ordinals.com. Okay, there we go. Now let's take a look at this sheet here. And
Okay.
let's see. Um, at least for your friends that you had mentioned, the four artists from Iran, wh which what are their
So,
artist names? I can put it in.
yep. It's Athena Motamedi is one of them.
Okay, found it.
And she is like an abstract artist, trained, incredible visual language. Can, I guess, be perceived a little bit sort of like more on the dark side, but it's just beautiful work. And you can understand like the why, like she's tapping into some pretty heavy energy there. And
Uh,
she's from Tehran. So, like the city that's been under heavy bombardment, that's where she's in.
oh wow. Hmm.
Hmm.
My prayers go out to them, to her. I know, like right now in the world, we are facing a tough time. Like it doesn't matter where you are in the world. In some
Very true.
ways, you,
Some way.
hmm
Yeah.
So, it's honestly like for us here in what like in Web3, what we're trying to do is like let's keep it going. Let's keep celebrating our friends that are going through the thick of it. And it put such a big smile on my face. Kind of her message to you, like if I can't do this, like push it forward. You do it for me, please. And
Yeah.
but big smile on my face that you went ahead and finished the process for them. Like that's the power of Web3 here. We, we're an international crowd. And we don't always know what is going to happen around the world, so we just need to be here for each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So she's one of them. Another one is Sen Merv. And as I was researching, because I had to do those write ups on all of the women, uh, I discovered what Sen Merv means. So Sen Merv is not actually her name. Her name is Fatima. And Sen Merv is a mythical creature that is part of like Zoroastrian text. And then I dove deep into what that even means, right? So that is one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. Like it predates like Judaism and Christianity, which is kind of mind blowing. And
Wow.
so if you heard of the Three Kings story,
Hmm.
it's believed that those three were from Persia and were Zoroastrians because a key component is that they believed heavily in the stars and they followed the stars, which makes so much sense because that's what the three kings were looking for when they found baby Jesus, right?
Yep.
So um, to find out that her name is part of like that old ancient tradition and it's this mythical like bird mammal fusion kind of a creature and that's the artist name that she chose to take on and her art is really good and So that's another one, Sun Merv. She's the one with the body, and then
Hmm.
there's no head, but it's flowers for
Hmm.
a head. That's her piece.
Violet flowers.
Violet flowers coming out of that. Yeah. And I think the title, if I can recall it, is She Grew Instead. Like it's all about resilience in that piece. So that's another one of the four. So you have Athena, Senmerv.
Hmm.
Then there's Homa Vasi. And Homa is very unique because her visual language involves painting and calligraphy. And calligraphy is something that, the Persians are very well known for. And she's actually a member of like this prestigious calligraphy institution out there. And if you look at her piece, if you pop in her ordinal so you could visualize it,
Hmm.
it's purple. It has like almost like a circle kind of, but it's calligraphy. And if you look really closely, it's her in the background. She put her photograph inside of the artwork. And it's the first time that I know of, and I've been following her as an artist for a while now, and I've exhibited her in several exhibitions. This is the first time I've ever seen her put herself in the artwork. And so that's another one. And then the last one from Iran, her name is Miriam, but she goes by Mary Stone Art in our space. And she is like a true pioneer. She created something called pebble stone art. So she takes different shapes and colors of stones and she makes something that's clearly like a body, a face, or something. And so for Mary's piece, Mary Stone Art, Mariam Fazli, I believe is her last name. Um, she did like, it looks like a mom and like her daughter, and they're just walking forward, just again, another piece that has to do with like perseverance. And separate to this, she is a trained chemist. Like, oh, by the way, I'm also a chemist. And so, like, I was able to discover like all of this as I was researching these women. So, with her, she is like a pioneer in stone art, super unique. The curators like could not believe what they were looking at. They were like, she has to be part of this. And she's also from Iran. And yeah, so those are the four. And then the young one that I told you about, the daughter of my friend, that they're Venezuelan. Her name is Victoria. But they're all amazing. Like honestly, they're all amazing. I encourage you to just take, like one by one in. And I did do a lot of write-ups on it, but you know how X is. It like just gets lost in the void. It's, unfortunate. And in the Telegram group, I actually made topics, like different channels. And one of the channels is like all about them, like the write-ups that I did. So you could just read them in peace without having to like, you know, sift through all of the stuff on X. Yeah. So
And let me bring it back up. I had gotten a little message that I was suspended on Twitch.
uh,
Oh no, I'm so scared. Adult nudity, whatever. Bunch of prudes. I'm just showing art. But
oh, oh no. I'm
oh
so
no.
sorry.
Nah, no worries. I really am not worried about it. I stream to way too many platforms at this point to care about Twitch. But I do have Miriam's ordinal pulled up, and as you were describing, it's like these stones placed together to form an image of a mother and child moving forward. So beautiful.
Right? It's so wild. And I remember like seeing this and even like second guessing, like, is this AI? Which we do have art created in collaboration with AI. I collaborate with AI with a lot of my visual art pieces. Um, but then like when I did the research and realized that this is literal stones, I was like, Okay, this is so cool. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. And I mean, I have so many questions. Like, how is it? How did you get the like the shine on it? And way too many questions. Uh I
I
hope
know. Well,
I hope
if
one
we
day I get to meet her.
was thinking if they come back, I will absolutely tell them all about you and they should just talk with you. And yeah, it would be a cool conversation. I'd love to listen and more. But yeah, it literally is just she has a ton of stones. I went on her Instagram page and did a little stalking. And she has a lot of posts. And in some of the posts, you could see that she has lots of different size stones. And I would imagine she probably has like some type of a setup where she takes quality pictures of this, of, whatever she arranges.
Hmm. Yeah, yes, most definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I'm not gonna say if because I'm one of those individuals that believes in positivity, and it's like when they come back, and stronger than ever. I would love to meet them. Like this has been incredible so far, and I can definitely see how Visible Violets like speaks volumes and to the world. And it's allowing all these women to express themselves through art. And I mean, even some of these descriptions, some of them, all of these descriptions are just very heartfelt, and you can tell that they have they've taken the time to really dig deep for to display their message.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they understood the gravitas of this being their first, or like, um, if it wasn't their first, like an important inscription that will be there forever and part of this. And visible violence meant to them, right? So, like, for example, Creatress, who's a good friend of Maximilian and myself, and is very well known in the space. She's like really an OG. She
Mhm.
does like the VR performance art, but she's a multidisciplinary artist. And so she took this opportunity to preserve um, her family. Like the art that Creatress put, it's like very fast paced, many different images. But like if you see the woman in the wedding dress, that is her grandmother, and the flowers that are in there come from like her family's garden, and she has a super long description, but it's so important that the family history of that description be put, like she wanted that to be there on chain forever. And it talks about like how her grandmother was a teacher, and then her grandmother was a psychologist, and they opened up like the first special needs school in Mexico City ever, right? And then like being supported by her grandmother to go and pursue his professional career. And I believe he went on to become like a judge. Like, so her grandparents and her family history is such a story that it could literally be a screenplay for a movie and so worthy of preserving. And she took that opportunity to basically document and archive her family history, her ancestors, through her own visual art, and then give us this whole entire, description of her family legacy. And I was just like, damn. I don't even know how the curators did it, man. They had over 100 submissions, a very intentional, well thought out art, and they had to pick only 20. So
Uh,
God bless them. I thank them every single day because that could not have been easy. But the women who did make it are just like remarkable and super worthy of being a part of it. Yeah.
100%. And of course, one artist that I would love to kind of highlight is Yolantis, one of our mutual friends. Um, going going to pull up their. their artwork, and I have to say this is totally Yolantis's style. I mean, from the moment I saw this piece, I I almost didn't even have to see the name to know that that this artist was near and dear to me.
Yeah. The Seraph imploring, like what a piece. And she went on a space and she described like what Seraph imploring meant. And I feel like every woman in that space like had a moment where we were either crying or fighting back the tears, because basically what she was describing was like this shared feeling of women having so much on their plate, so many tasks, so many expectations. And so the seraph, this angel, is like looking up to the sky, almost like, when is this over? When will the load be lighter? And you could read the description there that I sent you. And then she went into a bit of her own family history, um, and it's just amazing to me. And then also, she's a big advocate for making interfaces and experiences in the digital world more usable for those who have like impairments. And like it's one of those learning moments, like where I sat and thought to myself, like, dude, why don't you put captions that are like on the screen with all of your videos? Like, you're just assuming that everybody can hear. And it was through those conversations. You're fine, baby. You could. She's here. My daughter has her friend over. Um, and it was just one of those moments where I like asked myself, like, how can you show it better? How can you be a better person, a better leader? Like, you should be more mindful of these things. And it would have never even crossed my mind if, she hadn't had that conversation with us in the space. So she's phenomenal. And I know she's really good with like the metaverses and um, all kinds of things. She's just dope all
We
around.
we love Yolantis, and currently, like, okay, so I showed you the online version, the Decentraland version of the hoodie, but I'm currently wearing the physical version of the hoodie on the show, and like mainly like her, Yolantis was like my go-to person. I was like, Yolantis, it looks blurry. I need your help. And like without a thought, Yolantis just like sprung into action, like gave me some advice on like things to do to get the print right on the physical hoodie. So
Yep.
we love you, Yolantis. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
100%. Yeah. So she's another one. Um, and yeah, I mean, I really could go through the entire list, but we would be here
Hmm.
probably. I am just so proud of each one of the ladies. And yeah, I really hope that this mints out by the end of Women's History Month. And I feel like I'm torn. Like, should I say this? Do I even need to say this? But I guess I'll say it, which is that by no means is visible violets like meant to be like a divisive kind of thing. Like, that's not the vibe at all. It's really more of like a community centric activity that we could all take a part of, and really just like show love to these women and support them and recognize them. But I have a 14-year-old son. I'm married. My partner actually helped cover all of the inscription cost for the women because we paid for it. So we sent each one of them $70 so that they did not have to worry about, absorbing cost to be a part of that project. And so it's really more so like, let's not pretend that these aren't issues, and let's do something in a constructive way instead of like arguing or pretending that it doesn't even exist. Like, let's just do something about it. And so that's really at the heart of Visible Violets. And I also don't want the people who are involved to feel like they're pigeonholed into being like women artists. They are just artists, and they happen to be women, and we are in Women's Month. And so, from a marketing perspective, from like what I can do to make like a greater result, I have to look for things like Women's Month to use that momentum to tie the whole thing all together. But it's by no means like an attempt at saying, like, you're a quote woman artist. That's not what they are. They're much more than that. But we are utilizing this energy, this time to put it forward. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, and there is no better time to tell you the truth. Just to like build the energy. So, I mean, the so far this has been such an amazing oh, such an amazing presentation, or you know, of like all these highlighting all the women artists. And okay, so I would like to go highlight one more,
Yeah.
purely because they are going to be our guests for Beyond the NFT this coming week. um
Okay.
Empress Trash.
Oh, let's go. Yes.
So I'm gonna put in her ordinal so that everyone could see it on the screen. Oh my God, it's this one. Okay, okay. So if you look in our interviews chat, like the last one that I put, the last link I shared with you and said this one, uh, as
Oh,
like one of my favorites. So I'm kind of happy that you know, we're highlighting Emperor's Trash. They'll be our guest here for Beyond the NFT next week, if all goes well. I have sent my message. I need a reply, I believe. Uh, but what could you tell us about them and their submission?
oh my goodness. Okay. So, one thing that happened so, first of all, Empress Trash was a Gamma partner ambassador. So, last year, I came across her because of this project. I went on Gamma Spaces. They invited me to come and speak, and she was a co host. And she was more than supportive. Like, if you know her, or well, you'll get to know her very soon. Um, she doesn't have like the filter thing. Like, she will tell you exactly what comes to her mind. And during that space, she basically was like, "How is this not minted out already?" You know, this art is incredible. Like, she was such a supporter, and I really, really appreciated her for that. And so this year, she's in it. Like, she is one of the four curators. So I should probably mention them by name. So it's Empress Trash, Superamba, Shayna Douglas, who goes by Diamond Doll in our space, and then Nicole Smith, who is the president of Weight and Hope Foundation. And they are another organization in our space that puts on exhibitions, does a lot of education and onboarding, and they're just great. They're a nonprofit. They recently had an amazing event in Mexico at this like immersive space. It was spectacular, like jaw-droppingly beautiful. So those were the four women, and Empress was one of the curators. Empress is also part of the drop. And so when I saw the name, I was like, oh, that's wild, Cecilia. And I told her that, you know, I was brought up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, and when I did my confirmation, which is like your, you know, like when
Mm-hmm.
you're a teenager, you're basically like saying that, yes, this is the religion that you want, almost like a bar
Yep.
mitzvah, but like for Catholics.
Yep. Yep.
Um, you have to choose a patron saint. And so I chose Cecilia because I loved everything about her. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's an artist saint. It's the patron saint of music. Like, that's right up my alley. So that was my saint. And so she was like, no kidding. These are my great grandmother's names. So both of her great grandmothers are Cecilia. And she learned a lot from them. Like, one of them was a very nurturing, like, element in her life where other parts of her family weren't necessarily like as present for her. This one, ancestor, this one woman was there, and definitely was like a positive voice for her creativity, like a fan. And so she credits like a lot of her ability to like lean into the arts because of that Cecilia. And then there was another Cecilia who was more of like the dark feminine energy. Like she was more of a, in her words, of a B, the B word. But that she learned an awful lot about her, as like she learned a lot from her, excuse me. And what she took away from that Cecilia was like being able to like stand up for yourself and like not take shit from people. And you can definitely see it like in her personality. She's both this like just unbelievably sweet, kind person, and she will also tell you when you have passed a boundary or when you have done something that she thinks is unfair. And a lot of her subject matter is very much about women and the focus on, the freedom of women. And, Empress Trash is somebody who a lot of people respect in this space. She sold art at Sotheby's, like that's something that even in the trad art world, like to get to Sotheby's is a big deal. And she did that within the Web3 capacity. So to have somebody like her as part of the drop is just incredible because at that level, you don't have to participate in group drops. You really don't. You could just do solo. Um, and she likes group drops. She likes the idea of that because um, it makes her connected to her peers. And also, it allows her to be of service because when you are a more known artist and you participate in something, there are going to be people who are like, oh, I'm going to mint because there's a 1 out of 20 chance that I'm going to get an Empress Trash artwork, right? But what you do when you participate in those group drops is yes, you participate, and yes, you're going to walk away with potentially your share. But you're also giving people like Victoria, Senmerv, Athena, Miriam, Homa a greater likelihood of discoverability to other collectors. And so it's a beautiful gesture for your peers to participate in group drops when you're already an established artist. And so nothing but respect for her and love for her. And I can't wait to hear the interview that you guys do together. But yes, that's some context on Cecilia, that piece. She did it with a mixture of her paintings and collaboration with like AI tools. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that.
If there is one question you would like to ask her, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me think about this for a second.
Unless you've already asked her because, you're just around her so much.
No, no, let me think. There's got to be something that I haven't asked her. Um, where does she see herself in 5 years? Where would she want to see herself in 5 years? That would probably be the question I'd ask her.
Alrighty, writing it down.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want, I could read the description for Cecilia because I have the sheet up in front of me.
Oh, please do.
Okay, I will. The work I created for this drop is titled Cecilia. It is created with generative AI and dedicated to both my great grandmas I knew who are both named Cecilia. Saint Cecilia, patron saint of music and musicians, is a rare figure in Catholicism that has some who revere her in Protestantism, even though many Scandinavian Protestants reject saints as idol worship. But within Protestantism, Cecilia is still sacred. So that's a very unique point. But she is one of the few that have become venerated in Lutheranism, the Church of Sweden. As both my great grandmothers were devout Protestants and one Norwegian and the other Swedish descent, they both carried her namesake forward in their own ways. They both suffered and saw beauty in spite that their lessons still guide me to this day, and glad to add their tribute to this drop and exhibition. And when she got her proof of exhibitions and posted about it, she said, man, I wonder what my great grandmothers would say about an artwork that's dedicated to them that was inscribed onto digital gold when they couldn't even open up a bank account. And when I read that on X, I was just like, wow. Like, yeah.
Kind of makes
And
you appreciate the times we're in. Like, I like to, I like to kind of say, and I say it jokingly, but in a way, there's truth to it. It's like we really do live in the future.
we really do. We're so fortunate, So yeah, and I wrote back to her, and a lot of the Violets, like when she made that post, we were like, they would be so proud of you. And I think that that's the truth, the God's honest truth. I think that even though we're in the future, if you believe in like quantum physics and what they say about like time not being measured or thought of in the way it is, or if you ever saw the movie Inception,
Hmm.
I'd like to think that our ancestors are able to like feel these gestures that we're doing for them. So it adds that layer to Visible Violets as well, that there are several of the women who are dedicating or are inscribing something that has to do with a family legacy. There's at least two we know, Creatress and Empress, and I could go through the sheet and maybe find another, but that's cool that that's also part of the drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, this has been amazing. Uh, let's see. I've kept you here for, well, since we started the interview, it's been an hour. I'm not sure how limited you may be with time. So, kind of wanted to kind of jump into, and correct me please if I butcher the name, Siren AI.
It's yeah, no, you're good. It's very close. It's Siren AI.
Siren
Mhm.
AI. From my research, Siren AI is you, as an artist. My first question would be: Is Siren kind of like you, or is it kind of your online artist persona, kind of like someone that lives digitally as an artist?
So I feel like it's both, right? Because I knew that if I was going to start down the visual arts path, that I wanted my name not to be Jenifer. Like, I
Hmm.
wanted it to be something different. I'm very much into mythology. I'm a historian, and I like the idea of like playing into the name itself as like an artistic thing. So the reason I chose that name is because for a while, people in spaces would say to me, your voice, your voice, your voice, it has this like melody to it. It has like the soothing aspect to it. Um, and so I was like, all right, well, what mythological creature has that like attribute? Like, who do we, like connect with that? And I thought of the mermaid. And so I am Latina. So mermaid in Spanish is sirena. We don't have a siren and a mermaid. It's just one thing, and it's sirena. Because in English, siren is more of like the darker attribute of the mermaid. Um, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do siren, sirena, and then that way I'm kind of hitting both languages. And then because I was using AI in collaboration to create my art, I was like, all right, Siren AI, that's it. And so that is my artistic name when I do visual art that collaborates with AI. Um, and then when I write poetry, because I am a poet, and that actually is like my first artistic expression before I went into visual arts. When I do poetry, it's just La Sirena,
La
the mer.
Sirena. Okay. Yes, yes. Because I through the research, yes, I did come across the name La Sirena as well. And so whenever you're collaborating with AI, what is your go-to AI program companion um, to
Yeah,
create with?
for the static image, it's Midjourney, and um, I want to say like maybe about 2 years ago, I started going into feeding it my photography, my grandmother's photography, um, paintings, drawings, so that it really was more of like a collaborative process versus just pure prompting. Even though I do really enjoy purely prompting because it tickles that like writing part of me and like, oh, what happens if I move this comma? What happens if I describe it this way? That's all very fun. So Midjourney, and then when it comes to animating, I use Runway. Um, and then now with Midjourney's newer animating feature, I have been doing that as well. But then everything gets color graded and the upscaling, the frames per second, all of that goes through a process as well, through CapCut, through Topaz, through Photoshop. So it really depends like on what it is that I'm trying to express. And I just kind of let my creative I don't know, that voice that you listen to when you're creating, just tell me like, oh, use this, try this, go with this, and until I land on something that like feels done. That's how my process really works.
Interesting. So like how hard is it for you to reach that point when you feel satisfied with your art piece, your masterpiece? I know that there are a lot of artists out there, and I mean even like including myself, whenever I like to as a hobby that no one really ever sees. I'll be like on like Adobe like making all these videos and stuff like that of like all my friends on Decentraland and like different things, and I never feel like it's good enough. So I guess the question may be like what tips would you give a fellow artist or creative when it comes to feeling like their art is complete?
Huh. Well, I don't know. I guess the first one would be to really listen inside. Like listen to your gut, listen to what your nervous system is telling you, because there have been quote unquote quick like pieces where I'm like, oh, there's really nothing I can do more here. And if I do more, I'm gonna mess it up. Like that kind of a vibe. So there, I listen to that. Um, when I feel like I am not there yet, I also listen to what my body's telling me. Like, is this coming to a place of frustration? Because if I'm in a place of frustration and I keep just trying to reinvent the wheel and this isn't happening, what I start to do is like I will walk away because the way that I work, the way that my brain works, because I do have a spicy brain, I'm on the spectrum. Like I lose sense of time. Like I'll look up and 8 hours have passed and I'll like have neglected, just like basic human things. I just
Food.
step up, water.
Water.
Um,
Yes.
I'll like walk away from the computer intentionally. And so here in Tampa, we live in a conservation. So I'm surrounded by retention ponds, beautiful birds, beautiful trees that are like 200 years old. And I'll just like make it a point of being like, look, Jen, get away from the computer for an hour. And I'll just be in nature. I'll come back and I will see it with fresh eyes. And usually at that point, that reset will allow me to get to where I am satisfied. And one of the things that I also learned is yes, we live in an attention economy and people do expect you to produce at a certain pace. But if I don't feel like something's ready, it's not going to be shared. Like
Mhm.
I'm not doing that because that would be doing a disservice to myself as a creative. Like I'm not playing necessarily to the audience. I consider the audience, but I'm really creating for me. So if that means that a piece is going to take me 2 weeks, then it's going to take me 2 weeks, and it
Mhm.
is what it is. And so I just try to listen as much as I can to myself. I am nowhere near a place where I could say like I have perfected the inner voices and that whole thing that happens in the creative process, but I just try to listen to source and myself and then make a determination on like if something is done or not. Yeah.
Mhm. Uh, that is such great advice, and it makes me feel a little better about like my lack of sharing what I make out into the world. A lot of the times it just becomes obsolete. Like I'll make something for a certain moment, and then it's like I just I don't know. I don't feel like it's complete. I don't feel like it's perfect, so I just like walk away. But and then and then maybe it's like I don't feel like my skill personally is just there yet. So, and then the time, my time window runs out. So it gets sent into the ether.
I mean, does the time window actually run out? I have folders of renders that have never been shared into the world. Like I'm talking about like thousands at this point.
Yes.
Nobody has seen. And so like I don't know, like I think that that's part of the process now of being an artist is this is very intimate and very vulnerable of us. And so if your nervous system is saying, obviously, there is such a thing as analysis paralysis, and I'm not saying that that's the right path. Like, you need to be able to narrow the window of like execution and being able to share it. But if you're being told that it's not ready yet and you can do better, then you should just listen to that because time is an illusion anyway. Like we can't play to the audience. It's one of the things that most of the masters will tell you. It's a deeply intimate process, and you'll know when you know. I guess is yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so, you mentioned that you make poetry as La Sirena,
Yeah,
and in a way, La Sirena came before art. So like I guess going
not the
back,
name,
oh,
not the name. La
but
Sirena
but the
is more.
poetry,
Yeah,
correct?
the poetry itself came before the visual art, and then I just naturally was like, well, what do I do now, Jen? Because you've been a poet, and then now everybody knows you as a visual artist called Siren AI. So it's like, okay, well, if I start sharing my poetry, because I never shared my poetry, how are you going to distinguish this? Like, obviously, your poetry is written by you. And so I was like, oh, I'll just be La Sirena. So yeah, I've shared two works recently publicly. One of them had to do with being a collector and an artist, and then the other one was about waiting and the feelings about waiting. And both of them are in something called dual tone. So when you read them, you could read the column, and that's one poem, and then you could read the other column, and that's one poem, or you could read it all together, and that's actually like a third poem. So yeah.
And where could we find your poems?
Yeah. So I feel like on my private page, not my private page, on my personal page, let's see, waiting. Here we
Mhm.
go. I shared this in a space. I could just pop this um, link into our chat.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the most recent one. I don't know why it's not going into this chat.
Is it in general chat again? Let's see.
I'm gonna have to. It's not going into our chat.
Yep. Drop it in general.
All right, it's in general.
There it is. All right, I just pulled it open. Okay, I see. I see. And so then when you share your poetry, you kind of more or less show it in this format.
Yeah, as far as like sharing it,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, I've been really fixated on dual tone poetry, and I think it's also because I'm a Gemini. and I'm kind of playing into that sort of duality. Duality is something that shows up a lot in my visual art. But then when I was finally ready to like share my poetry, I was like, how do I show up in a way that's like unique? Because people are going to read poetry all the time. And I think what would be cool is like to do something that's really different. And um, I like to be the observer and the doer, and I'm hot and cold, and I have these like a lot of different dualities about me. So I leaned into that for the first poem I shared, which was a dedication poem to collectors of One Love. And it was like about being a collector and an artist. I could find that one. And that was the first one I released. And then this was the second one. And so I probably will do several more of these and then maybe put out a book, like a small book that has these dual tone poems. And maybe I'll call the title of the book something to do with duality. I haven't really decided yet. And I'm entertaining whether or not I will put them on chain. But let me find the other one.
Of course, of
But
course.
I'm not pigeonholing myself to that style because I can write in different styles, you know. So,
Mm-hmm. And and
um,
s- and so early on, like going back to the roots, when it comes to poetry, was there anyone in your life that kind of inspired this form of creativity for you, or did it just like come naturally?
it kind of came naturally, but I do have to say that my stepfather played some type of role because he was a literature major. He exposed me to a lot of, he was Greek. So my mom was Dominican, he was Greek. And he exposed me a lot to film. He exposed me a lot to like museums and history, and to writing and to like good books, like important books that he basically said to me, like, there's movies that you must see. Like, so he like was one of those people who would go to Blockbuster and like would get like, you know, like whatever was popular, but then he would get like other movies that he felt like were part of like an education that I should have in film. So I would watch that with him. And then he would also recommend a lot of books. And so um, I did lean heavy into that. And I went to a
Mhm.
humanities high school. So in New York, there's a particular high school that's very well known for that. And I got in. So there was a heavy emphasis on writing, on language, on linguistics, on all of that. And throughout that, I think that's when I really like appreciated poetry, started writing just in general, and then found my poetic voice and started writing poetry.
Those were the building blocks.
Those are the building blocks. Yeah, so I think I found it. Okay, here's that one. Let me copy the link and put it in here.
Mhm. Alrighty, and I'm pulling it up.
And so for both of these, you read top to bottom each column, and then you read from top left
Mhm.
to bottom right.
I see, I see. So the order, yes, starting from artist, going top to bottom, then collector, top to bottom, and then across. Oh my God, this is just so creative. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like it. I'm not the inventor of this, by the
no,
way.
of course.
Somebody very famous for dual tone poetry, but I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, to be, even though you're not, you don't have to be the inventor to create something beautiful with this style of writing, and that's what you're doing. You're using your words uh, to create a picture to, uh, so beautiful.
Thank you. And the waiting one, that first one, was 100% born from the pain that I felt inside of my chest, not being able to communicate with so many people that I care about deeply. Um, in particular, one friend who I'm very, very close with. And I just needed to put those feelings somewhere. The friends in Iran
Mhm.
essentially are the inspiration for that first one that I shared, which is the second poem that I put out publicly in our space, the waiting one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. Kind of through going through Visual Violets and kind of segueing into your art, your work, and who you are. I feel has made this episode very special.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
All right. So, I know I know you have kiddos, you have a family. I don't want to keep you too long. So, what do you think about getting into some closing questions?
Sure, let's go for it.
Alrighty. So, we kind of spoke about the state of the world currently, how chaotic it is, and like pretty much all over, but in more in particular in some like certain portions of the world that are more chaotic than others. Um, how do you stay positive and kind of be that like that shining light for those around you within your community?
Well, um, I think that I allow myself to feel all of the different things. I think an unhealthy positivity is the type of positivity that doesn't allow you to sit with emotions and to feel all of the things that you need to feel. Like nothing that we're experiencing right now is at all normal. Our world is on fire. We are, in a way, having the veil removed from us about a lot of things that we are starting to see clearly, like as a collective, about what does leadership look like to us? What should the world look like to us? Right? Like these are questions a lot of us are starting to ask ourselves. And so for me, feeling rage and feeling sadness is something that's very necessary because when I feel those things, then I can do something about it. So it kind of circles back to the point that I was making about how in our space, it's very easy to just grab your Twitter and give your opinion on a matter. And it's a very valid thing. Like, I'm not taking that away from anybody. Um, but what I think is probably like a more constructive exercise is if you read a report and you feel that there is not enough equity when it comes to pay of women in our space, like you're seeing that the top selling artists are predominantly male, use that feeling of that's not fair, whatever that feeling produces for you, and go do something about it. Do something with that energy. When I look at the world and I see children dying, which is something that triggers me tremendously. As a mom, I have a 14 and a 12-year-old, and I would lose my mind flat out if something happened to my children, God forbid.
Mhm.
Um, but when I see stuff like that, like, what can I do? And so the first things that came to mind was let's get money into the pockets of Iranian people, you know? So we held a space right as soon as the first internet blackout lifted, and we were able to communicate with them. We were able to get collectors into that audio space, that Sunday space, and get their artwork sold, and also just listen. Literally, just listen to whatever it was that they wanted to say. And I did tell them at the onset, I said, hey, I don't know if we're being listened to right now, because that's a real possibility. Um, Measure your words. I don't want you getting in trouble. Um, and they didn't care. And so if they needed to get that out of their system, then I'm going to listen, right? I'm going to listen to the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the insecurity, the just all of the feelings and just be there. And it was very difficult, but that was my role. And so I think that that's my advice to all of us is like being light in dark times requires you to ask yourself, what role can I play? What capacity can I endure? Like, what am I actually capable of doing? Because nobody wants you to overextend yourself either. And then just showing up in whatever way that looks like for you, whether it's just listening to one friend or 100 friends, whether it's helping one friend financially or helping 100 friends financially, like whatever that looks like to you, as long as we show up for our brothers and sisters in a way that is aligned, I think each grain of sand is important. And so, what I would say is not necessarily to show up in a positive way, show up in a real way, and that alone will be light in this darkness. But take breaks. Like, there have been days, if I'm being honest, where like I don't even want to get out of bed because I'm feeling so many different things, and that's okay because I have to process those feelings.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that is my advice, I guess, for folks on how to show up as leaders and friends and just humans in these times. Do what you can in
Mhm.
whatever it looks like for you.
That was beautiful advice, and thank you so much. Okay, for any artists coming from the traditional Web 2 world into our Web 3 craziness, this wild Web 3 roller coaster, what would be a piece of advice that you would give to them when it comes to kind of putting their work out there, their creations into the world.
Hmm. Well, I'd probably answer that from a couple of angles. One
I
is
believe so.
the technical side, right? Like, how are you onboarding? Who's helping you onboard? The security would be the next thing, like making sure that the way that they're doing things and interacting is in a safe way so that they don't get burned and they don't have a negative impression of our space and then just like never come back and then go run to tell everybody that this is a terrible space full of scammers, right?
Mhm.
Um, but then once those two critical things are addressed, like actually onboarding them, I would say find communities that you feel really good in, find friends that you feel safe around, and then start to think about like what it is that you want to mint. Um, what are the things that you want to share in the world, but that at the same time you want preserved from like an archival historical perspective? And then what aligns with you. Like, are you a physical painter who's looking to sell those physical paintings? And you're utilizing the blockchain NFT as like maybe like a certificate of authenticity, and thereby using crypto just as a tool for transactions so that you can sell those physical paintings and prints. Like, if that's your setup, then that's cool. Let's plan that. What does that look like? Are you taking high resolution pictures? Where are you minting this? How are you pricing this, etc.?
Mhm.
If you're more so approaching it like from just a strictly digital or fusion type of thing, are you looking to have a very broad audience? Are you looking to have a very niche audience? Like, these are all conversations that actually I do have with artists that are coming in from the traditional world,
Mhm.
and that I'm bringing into Web3. And um, that they, like I said, finding people like myself who have been in the space for several years, or communities like One Love, where you can have, advice from your peers, I think would be my best advice. I don't recommend doing this solo and getting burned. Yeah, so that would be my advice.
It takes a village. For
Take a
sure.
village. Yep.
Find in a way, I like to always go back to like find the people you vibe with, find those good people in the space. Um, because like as a pack, you'll go further than alone. S- Uh,
100%.
Okay, and final question. Any final thought? What are your final thoughts for that you'd like to leave our viewers with today? We still have 24 friends here on Decentraland, and I'm sure a few others on other streaming platforms, minus Twitch, because tonight we got we had a Twitch incident. Boo, right? But what final thoughts would you like to leave our friends with tonight?
Uh, I think allow for space to evolve. When I first came into the space, I was quite shy. I didn't hit the mic button in spaces ever, let alone entertain doing, an interview like this. I'll be very honest with you. Um, and just sort of like go with the experience, go at your pace. So I was a collector that was not very vocal. Then I was more vocal. Then I shifted into becoming a visual artist when I thought of myself only as like a writer. And that evolved. And now I'm a community leader and an advocate and a builder in this space. And so if you had told me then that this would be my reality now, I probably would have been like, no, are you kidding me? So I think that that's the advice, like just allow for the universe to work its miracles and go at your pace.
So, kind of when you were going towards saying community leader,
Yeah.
was there kind of like a little bit of hesitation? Does it still feel weird kind of saying that? Because I asked because myself too, like
Yeah.
I try as hard as possible not to say it, but it's like sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, but if you don't acknowledge it, then, you know, it's a responsibility. It's not from a place of ego,
Mhm.
right? So I remember the first time somebody was like, "Oh, you're a queen," and I was like, "Oh, don't call me that. Like, I am not that. I'm just a regular person." Um, and then I sat with that feeling for a little bit, and I was like, "Well, why would they see me that way?" And then I realized, well, what is wrong with being a queen? What in my brain that equaled was like elitism or like thinking that you're greater than or whatever. And then I just like totally dismantled that and saw it more as like you have a responsibility now. Like you have a responsibility to show up for a group of people that are made better by your presence and by your organizational skills. And so that means that you have like a duty, right? And what a privilege it is to be in that position, right? And so show up and do the right thing and do it right and, be goal oriented and execute because by you doing so, the people around you are going to benefit a lot from that. I did request though that people not call me that because I'm personally not comfortable with it. But I have gotten over that imposter syndrome and do say openly that I am, a leader in the space. And it took me, some time to get used to even saying that, but you are what you are. And if you don't present yourself with that level of like, this is what it is, this is my responsibility, others are not going to resonate with you. So, like, if you and I are seeking grant money because we need to do something on behalf of our community, the people who are listening to us make our proposals, they're not going to fuck with us
Mhm.
if there's that level of like imposter syndrome and
Yeah.
hesitation, So that's how I had to like rewrite that narrative for myself. Yeah.
Totally, totally. I'm very happy I kind of brought that up, 'cause like in a way, yeah, that imposter syndrome is real, and kind of a lot of the times I feel like when it's going towards like an outward facing group, I have to put that mask on and be Batman or whatever.
I like that a lot. That's a really cool analogy. Cape on. You got to put your cape on.
Exactly, exactly. I'm very happy that we had tonight's conversation. I have to say you had me like on the verge of tears at some points. So
Oh,
thank you. Thank you,
thanks for,
Jennifer. Oh, go ahead.
no, I said thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, likewise. And yeah, finally, we both got to sit down and have a conversation. I feel like we have, like you mentioned earlier, we have been around each other in the space for so long, and we followed each other for quite a while now,
Yeah.
on X. So, and like it was kind of funny whenever it was Maximilian was telling me about you. I was like looking you up. I'm like, this name is familiar. And then I went on X. I was like, I already followed that. So yeah, very awesome having the opportunity to sit down with you. Thank you so much for your time today. I took up almost a solid 2 hours of your time. Really,
No,
thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity to, be able to speak and speak specifically on the visible violets and help me get the word out. I really appreciate that.
Of course, yep. Visible violets, and let me bring it up on screen one more time. Oh, oh, did I lose it? Oh no, maybe it's yeah, there it is. Visible violets minting now. So far 32% of the mints have been claimed, so get yours before it's too late.
That's the outfit. Get it before you can't.
Yep. I'm kind of happy that because like earlier I was like, oh no, it's an ordinal. I don't have a Bitcoin wallet, but then I like hit on the connect on the top right of the screen, and I
Uh-huh.
see Phantom Wallet. I have Phantom Wallet. Oh
Ooh,
wait,
ooh,
wait,
ooh.
wait, wait. What it?
Glad this up. It's actually not the most user friendly when it comes to interfacing with Gamma. I highly recommend just downloading Xverse because the friends who have tried to collect with Phantom have had some difficulties. Like some were able to do it, some were not. And so I'm just telling everybody use the one that I use because I like things simple and stressless. So if you go to the Apple Store or if you go to Google Store, X, the letter X, and then VERSE, the only downside is you're going to have a new wallet with a new seed phrase, but like whatever.
Mhm,
And then once you have it, the buy button connects to MoonPay, Stripe, Apple Pay, and then
mhm.
you can just fund the wallet and just easily collect on Gamma without any issue whatsoever.
Okay. I'm happy I mentioned something. I am very, very happy I mentioned something because if not, I would have been trying Phantom.
Yeah, I mean it's there, and actually, I actually did give them a little bit of feedback about that. And another one that I noticed, I'm a tester, like I like poking and seeing if things work or not. And there was another one that they had there that it's not as smooth. So X first for me is the one that will give you the best experience collecting. Yeah.
Xverse noted. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, that is a wrap for tonight's show. Anyone that has stuck by this long, we can meet over at the game arena on at the Decentraland or at Genesis Plaza, the starting point of the Decentraland, and let's play some games for some prizes. Let's play a few rounds of the game arena. If anyone would like to join, Rustan, if you're there, bring Fifi. I know that Fifi wanted to get a big group going with for some games, so maybe this will be the moment. And Jennifer, thank you very, very much for your time. And here we can go off on mute here for just a second, and yeah. Thank you, everyone. Stand by, and let's meet at Genesis Plaza.
Bye, everyone.
Alright, alright, alright. I am back. I am back. I am back. Okay, so everyone, make sure you collect your OP badge because that we have the Mew first OP badge here. Uh, Everyone, make sure to claim your OP badge tonight if you haven't. And good night, Chloe. Oh, I meant to say Chloe. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. I am very happy. Okay, so Canessa, how are you doing this floaty float? Oh, Canessa. Canessa, how do you floaty float? Okay, okay. Maybe I could just ta-da all around. No? Okay, okay, okay. Maybe sit. How do I floaty float? Or do I need to like get onto the float here? I'm so okay, maybe I need to good night, Sons. Thank you so much. Alrighty. But so yeah, I'm gonna run down here. Oh guys, I gotta tell you how nervous I was. I was messing up all over. I did like at first I didn't open up the correct channels. Oh my lord, I was all dismembered at the very beginning. And yeah, it sucks about my Twitch, but whatever. Whatever, I was showing art and I stand by what I was highlighting because it was artwork from an incredible Iranian artist that, you know, is living in a very, very tough place in the world right now. So I I would get banned from Twitch 100 times over if it meant that I can get to continue to highlight their art. So yes, make sure everyone collect your OP badge. And actually, I think I should get a alt account in and claim an OP badge for Jenifer, and send it over to her as like a gift. Good night. On a tube. It's the only way you could. Okay. Is this our tube? Do I need to like do a full restart? I'll do a full restart. All right. So I'm gonna close down the YouTube. For some reason, it still says I have like 4 viewers on Twitch. You know. Wait. Chat is currently unavailable on this channel, but you can still watch? Okay.